Welcome back to another Inside Lansing. Today's guest is Lisa Korajczyk, Director for the Lansing Public Library. Lisa, thanks for coming back on the show.
Well, thanks for inviting me again. I look forward to this every year.
Oh, great. So every year we get to have you at the beginning of the year. You're
Yes.
probably one of our first.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah. We want to have you in here. We want to find out what's going on with the library.
Okay.
Did you have a good year?
We did. It was a very good year last year. So we're looking forward to, once we get past the cold, having an even better year this year.
And so what can we look forward to? Let's talk about events maybe a little bit.
Yes.
You have typically your library block parties, you have
Yes.
music events. What are some interesting events people might want to know about that are coming up
So
this year?
coming up in February, which is Black History Month, we usually have a big celebration. It'll be the first Friday night of February. We're having a live blues band, but we also provide food that night also. So we open the doors.
What kind of food?
Well, we're using one of the local restaurants here, and so we're going to have things like catfish, and we're going to have chicken, we're going to have macaroni and cheese and cornbread. We'll have some dessert. So we open up a little.
What day is that? I think I might want to.
Okay, so February. I think it's the first Friday night in February.
Yeah, I might
I
have
think
to
it
show
may
up
be
for
the
that.
second, but don't hold me to that exact date. Just
Okay.
go to our website, call
Yes.
us, and we can get you the information that way. So the doors will open up a half an hour early because of the food. So I would suggest that you come early because last year we ran out of food. So
I'll be there.
All right.
2 hours early waiting. I'll just
I
be
will
right
look
outside
for
in the
you
cold.
and personally
Okay.
escort you to a table and help get you some food.
All
How's
right.
that?
I love having the VIP treatment as well if I can have it.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
oh, that sounds really good.
Yes. We're doing Block Party again this summer. We moved the date back to the original date. Last year we wanted to try and experiment.
You
to
did it
see-
in July last
We
year, and then
did.
usually we do it in June. So
Correct.
you're going back to June.
We are because although we had a really great evening
You
weather-wise,
did. You did.
I could not anticipate that the weather would be that good. However, moving forward, we're afraid that the last Saturday in July often is very hot. And so we're like, let's go back to June. And just keep it. People are used to it that way. So again, we're going to have most of the activities we had last year, but we try and switch it up and bring at least one new thing every year. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but everybody's welcome to come out and try.
I'm sure once you get closer, we can put
Yes.
some stuff out there, let people know what's happening.
Absolutely. And
So.
the biggest hit, of course, was Rainbow Cone. The line kept going all night
Oh,
long.
the line was, I don't even
And the
think I was
tacos.
able to get any. I was working
Yes.
and I was like, I might be able to get, and
Yeah.
there was just too big of a line. I'm
It
like,
was.
I'm not
Yes,
getting in there.
yes,
It
but,
was popular. People loved it.
They did, yes. And apparently, they just started doing that, so we grabbed them because they're out in Orland now, I do believe. So they're local somewhat, and we wanted to get them over to this part of the south suburbs.
Beautiful.
And so we'll see what we have this coming year. Something else that's going on, so we started a new service. We have notary service now at the library.
Oh, so yeah, I was going to ask about services next. So let's talk about the notary service. How's that? What
We started
what
January
can you
1st.
use that for?
Well, it depends. We started January 1st. What we do is, so all the managers are trained and have their notary bonds, and we have our stamps. We do not do it during school release between 3 o'clock and 4:15. It's just too hectic. We're normally all outside helping the kids back and forth. So between that time, though, don't come and ask because we just don't do it then. But people bring in things like whatever they need notarized. We don't do real estate.
Okay.
We
No
don't do
real
those,
estate.
right? And we actually have a list of the things on the policy on the website for people to take a look at before they come. Please always make sure to bring your photo ID and do not sign the paperwork before you get to the library. If you have signed it, we can't do it.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and if you need witnesses,
That actually makes sense.
right. But sometimes people will sign their paperwork first, but you're supposed to sign it in front of the notary.
Right, so they can notarize it.
Correct.
Otherwise, they're like, I can't
I
notarize
can't do it, and you're going to have to get another piece of paper and do it again. Also, if you need witnesses, you have to bring your own witnesses because there needs to be an understanding there also. You just can't grab somebody from the library. What the witness is saying is that I know this person,
Okay.
and that's why they're there to witness
As
the
I laughed,
documentation.
I'm thinking about them just grabbing somebody from the.
I have worked at libraries where I was a notary, and people will do that. So, and I'm like, I can't do it because they don't know you. So, but it's been pretty popular so far. We had heard probably 8 to 6 months prior to starting that there were a lot of people coming into the library looking for a notary.
Okay.
So obviously there was a gap that needed to be filled, and so we decided to do it. Now we don't charge for the first signature. After that, we charge $1 signature. Okay?
Okay.
So come on in. We're looking forward to seeing everybody. It's a free service, and you don't have to have a library card. You don't have to live in Lansing. It can be anybody who needs the service.
Beautiful.
Yes. Something exciting coming up in, I want to say March. Pretty sure it's in March. The Lansing Journal. So you know they have their weather photos.
Yes.
So what they're going to do, we have that big art wall in the library. They're going to print them out, and they're going to hang them up, about 20 of them, and we're going to hold it up, have a gallery of local photographers have their artwork up on our library wall.
Oh, beautiful.
I know, we're pretty
so that'll
excited
be in
by
March,
that.
you said.
I believe it's in March. The newsletter should be coming out in about 2 weeks, and it's featured in there. So please come out and take a look, and if you see yours up there, we'll take a picture of you on the wall in front of your photo. So yeah, Melanie over at the Lansing Journal, she was really excited to bring this project to us, and we were more than happy to help them with that.
It just sounds like there's so much going on there, and that people
Yeah.
have a lot to look forward to this year.
Yes.
It's great because it seems
Yes.
like there's always something new going on there. So I think we'll keep an eye on it, and then
Yes.
if there's anything, we'll cover it or
That's
get
great.
info out so people know it's happening.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about, I know one event that's really big is the National Library Week.
Yes, so that's, I believe it's April 7th through the 13th. Now, last year we did a big raffle giveaway. It was a gift card. We'll do the same thing again this year for when you come into the library. If you get a new card, if you update your card, if you come to a program, you go into a drawing. And we're going to do some other things, but we're going to keep those kind of quiet. They're going to be surprised.
Okay, surprises.
We're
I
gonna
like
surprise
surprises.
Lansing.
Okay. I'm good with
But what we're
surprises.
gonna-
I like that.
Okay, so mum's the word.
No
until
scoop here.
April.
I
Absolutely
understand that.
not. Absolutely not.
So we look forward to National Library
Yes,
Week.
and it's important because it really does speak to the importance of libraries and the importance of reading and the freedom to read, what you choose to read.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we've seen there's been troubles all over the country about that. Not so much in Illinois, and there's a new law in Illinois for public libraries. You have to actually have within your bylaws the agreement to support the ALA Bill of Rights, or else you're not eligible for grants anymore in the state of Illinois.
Oh, wow.
So we are actually putting our money where, what's the phrase?
Putting your money where your mouth is?
That's it. That's the one. So yeah, we always supported the freedom to read, and we didn't have to worry about that already. But there were some libraries that didn't, and so the governor and Alexi Giannoulis worked together to make sure that Illinois was a freedom to read state.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask something that we never really talk about, or I should say we don't talk about as much, is maybe your team,
Yes.
the team you work with.
Yes.
Who do you work with? Maybe you could highlight a few members and talk about what different departments you have and how they work together and work on their own.
Right, so we all work together as a team. And I have to say, this is my 4th public library, and this is probably the best team I've ever seen.
Wow.
They've really melded.
That's high praise.
Yes, they've melded together in a way that I've never seen before. They think like librarians. They think about what's best for the community. They're able to communicate together. They work together. They harness all that energy. And what I've done actually is I've given them the freedom to perform. I don't take credit for anything they do because they're doing the work, right? I just manage and make sure that the money's there, hopefully, to help them do what they need to do. But I have to say that my department heads, Beth Bazzo at Youth Services, and Lisa Trevino in Member Services, and Denise Benson in Info, and Kelly Staley in the Tech and IT department, and Andrew Hartunian in Community Outreach. Shout out to you, because they're the ones that are in the trenches every day, managing their teams, coming up with these ideas, and they have just made it a fantastic place to work.
And it probably makes your job a lot easier.
It is, because I don't have to be the only one thinking of everything, doing all the work. They're doing the heavy lifting. I'm just managing the pieces on the board, right? And the people that they manage are also really great contributors to the library. I have to say, this is a fantastic library team.
Well, I've always had a good time when I go to a library.
Great.
Everyone who has worked there has always been just
Yes.
easy to approach, and ask any question, and they'll help you out wherever
Yes.
they can.
I'm glad to hear that.
I have never had a bad experience at the
Great.
library with anybody working.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for that.
I know we could talk for a while.
Yes.
And there's just one more thing we wanted to touch on,
Yes.
which is your library board. You have a seat open.
Yeah, I do. So we had somebody who had to resign from the board. She's moving out of town. And so the process is a letter of interest or qualifications. Please get that to me if you're interested. You could either come into the library and drop it off, or you can send it to my email at lisak@lansingpl.org. Now, there are some qualifications that you have to meet under the law. You have to live in Lansing for 1 year, you have to pay your library taxes, and you cannot be a felon.
Okay.
Okay, so the appointment then would last until the next election, and then if you were still interested, you would have to run for the seat in the election in the spring of '25. Okay, so I encourage people to come out and submit your letters if you're interested in working with a really great library board too, I would have to say. This is probably the best library board I've also worked with.
Best library board, best team.
Yes.
Best library.
Great community.
Yeah.
You know, they're invested in the community here. They're invested in the library. They care about the schools. It's actually a really great place to be, I have to say.
Well,
2 years in, love the job, love the community.
and that's why we have you on the show, so you can
Thank
tell
you.
us these things. We're so glad to have had the time to sit down and
Thank
talk
you.
to you today. And I just want to thank you again for
Okay.
coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching Inside Lansing.